The story of Noah, when grace survived the flood. Long before kingdoms were built and long before prophets walked the earth, the world was young. Rivers ran clear through green valleys, mountains stretched proudly toward the sky, and forests whispered in the wind. Humanity filled the earth, spreading across the lands God had created. But something had gone terribly wrong. What was once a world filled with beauty and promise had become a place of violence, greed, and corruption. People no longer honored God. Instead, they lived only for themselves, lying, stealing, fighting, and hurting one another. Their hearts were hardened, and evil thoughts filled their minds day and night.
Stop! This is madness!
Give it to
God
me!
looked upon the earth and saw the wickedness of humanity. Everywhere he looked, injustice ruled. The weak were oppressed, the innocent were harmed, and the powerful ruled through fear. The earth groaned under the weight of human cruelty. And God was grieved. It was not the anger of a distant ruler but the sorrow of a creator whose beloved creation had turned away from him. Humanity had forgotten the goodness for which they were made. Yet even in a world drowning in sin, there was one man who walked differently. His name was Noah, a man who walked with God. Noah lived among the people of that corrupt world, but his heart remained faithful. While others chased power and pleasure, Noah sought righteousness. He believed in God. He honored God. And he lived according to God's ways. Noah was not perfect, but he was sincere. He tried to live honestly and treat others with kindness. He loved his family and taught his children to respect the Creator. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They grew up hearing their father speak about God's goodness and justice. But outside their home, the world was growing darker. Violence filled the streets of cities. Men robbed and killed without remorse. Leaders ruled through oppression. Families betrayed one another. The earth had become corrupt beyond measure. And so God made a decision that would change the course of history. God speaks to Noah. One evening, as the sun sank behind distant hills and shadows stretched across the land, Noah was alone in prayer. Suddenly, the voice of God spoke to him. It was powerful yet gentle, like thunder wrapped in mercy. Noah, the earth has become full of violence because of mankind. I will bring judgment upon the world. The earth will be destroyed by a great flood of waters. But you have found favor in my sight. Noah listened with trembling. God continued, "Build an ark, a great vessel made of wood. It will be your shelter when the waters come. You, your wife, your sons, and their wives will enter it. I will preserve life through you." God then gave Noah detailed instructions. The ark would be enormous, larger than any ship ever built. It would be made from strong wood and sealed with pitch inside and out so water could not enter. It would have 3 decks. Rooms would be built inside for animals and supplies. There would be 1 door on the side and a window near the top. The impossible task. The next morning Noah began the greatest construction project the world had ever seen. With the help of his sons, he started cutting massive trees and shaping the wood into beams. Day after day, month after month, year after year, the ark slowly took shape. But Noah was not building near the sea. He was building it on dry land. And people noticed. Crowds gathered to stare at the enormous structure rising from the ground. They laughed. They mocked him. "What is this old man doing? Why would anyone build a ship here?" Some shouted insults. Others threw stones. "Has Noah lost his mind?" Noah patiently continued his work. He warned them about the coming flood. He told them to turn away from their wickedness. But the people refused to listen. Their hearts were too hard. They returned to their violence and corruption, believing the world would always remain the same. But Noah kept building, because he trusted God. The ark is finished. After many long years of labor, the ark was finally complete. It towered over the land like a massive wooden mountain. Inside were chambers for animals, storage rooms filled with food, and living quarters for Noah's family. Then something extraordinary happened. Animals began arriving. From forests and fields. From mountains and rivers. Two by two they came. Lions walked beside lambs. Elephants marched slowly across the land. Birds filled the skies overhead. Reptiles crawled through the grass. Creatures from every corner of the earth were gathering. Noah and his sons guided them into the ark. The people watching were stunned, but still they refused to believe. They continued mocking Noah. Look at the foolish old man and his floating zoo. Yet Noah knew the time was near.
Turn away from your wickedness! The flood is coming! But no one listened. The flood is coming!
The door of mercy. Finally, the day came. God spoke once more. Enter the ark, you and your household.
Easy, friend.
For in this generation you alone have been found righteous. Noah obeyed. He and his wife entered the ark. Shem and his wife followed. Ham and his
family.
wife.
The journey begins.
Japheth
Wow,
and his
so
wife.
many animals.
They are
8
all
people
safe
in total.
now.
The animals were already inside. Then something miraculous happened. God himself shut the door. The ark was sealed. Outside, the sky remained clear. For 7 days nothing happened. The people continued their normal lives. They laughed, celebrated, and ignored the warning. But on the 7th day, the heavens changed. The rain begins. Dark clouds rolled across the sky. Thunder shook the earth. Lightning split the heavens. And then the rain began. At first it was only a gentle shower. But soon it became a powerful storm. Water poured from the sky in relentless sheets. At the same time, fountains burst from beneath the earth. Massive torrents of water surged upward from the ground. Rivers overflowed. Lakes burst everywhere. The flood had begun. The people
The flood is
panicked.
coming! Run!
They
The
ran
waters
toward
are
higher
rising!
ground.
Hurry! We must
But
survive!
the rain
This
did
way!
not stop.
To higher ground!
Hour after hour, day after day, the waters rose higher and higher. Houses disappeared. Trees were swallowed. Cities vanished beneath the flood. Even mountains began to disappear beneath the waves. Inside the ark, Noah and his family listened to the roar of the storm. The massive vessel rocked gently as it floated upon the rising waters. They prayed. They trusted God. And the ark carried them safely above the chaos. 40 days and 40 nights. For 40 days and 40 nights the rain poured from the heavens. The entire world became a vast ocean. Everything that breathed outside the ark was gone. The earth had been cleansed. Inside the ark, life continued. Noah and his family cared for the animals. They fed them, cleaned their stalls, and maintained order within the vessel. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The ark drifted
Time to
across
eat,
the endless
everyone.
waters.
Plenty for all.
Yet God had not forgotten them.
Here you go, little friend. What a kind heart you have.
A fine evening for family.
God remembers Noah. After many months, God caused a mighty wind to blow across the waters. Slowly, the flood began to recede. The waters gradually lowered. Eventually, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. But the land was still covered with water. So Noah waited. After some time, he opened the window and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth but did not return to the ark. Later Noah sent out a dove. But the dove returned because it could find no place to land. 7 days later Noah sent the dove again. This time it returned with an olive leaf in its beak. A sign. Life had begun to return. Another week passed. Noah released the dove once more. This time it did not return. The earth was ready. Stepping into a new world. At last God spoke again. Come out of the ark, you and your family. Bring out every living creature so they may multiply upon the earth. Noah opened the great door. Fresh air filled the ark. One by one the animals stepped out. Birds soared into the sky. Animals ran across the land. The earth was alive again. Noah and his family stood upon the renewed world, amazed by the mercy of God. The first thing Noah did was build an altar. He offered thanks to God for preserving their lives. It was a moment of deep gratitude. God looked upon Noah's worship and made a promise. the covenant of hope. God said, "Never again will I destroy the earth with a flood. As long as the earth remains, seedtime and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease." Then God placed a sign in the sky. A brilliant rainbow stretched across the clouds. Its colors shimmered like jewels in the sunlight. It was a reminder, a covenant. Whenever the rainbow appeared, it would be a sign of God's promise to the earth. A promise of mercy. A promise that grace would always be greater than judgment. The legacy of Noah. From Noah's family, the earth was repopulated. Nations would rise and spread across the world. Generations would come and go. But the story of Noah would never be forgotten. It became a powerful reminder of two eternal truths. God is just, and God is merciful. When the world was drowning in corruption, judgment came. But even in judgment, God preserved a path of grace. One faithful man and his family became the bridge between the old world and the new. Noah's obedience saved humanity. His faith carried life through the storm. The message of the flood. The story of Noah is not only about destruction. It is about hope. It shows that even when darkness covers the earth, God always leaves the door open for salvation. The ark became a symbol of refuge, a place where life could survive the storm. And just as the ark saved Noah and his family, God's grace continues to offer rescue to those who trust Him. The rainbow still appears after storms today, a reminder written across the sky, a message that echoes through time. Grace survived the flood, and grace will always have the final word.
Still one man chose heaven's way, trusting every word God would say.
Kindly subscribe to the channel for more unique messages like this from Daystar Art Studio. Like and comment, and hit the subscribe button.
Rivers dance through valleys wide, peace and